welcome back. All right, so from here on, things start to get a little bit more interesting. But of course, we still have some theories around it, but will be able to write some more interesting programs. Operators are symbols that just instruct your programs to perform a certain operation, giving operands, and of course, the aim is for it to yield a specific result. You'll soon see that some of these operators are things that you have already been familiar with, even if you have never written a program before. And some of them we've already used in the course of this tutorial. Now, some types of operators include one, we have assignment operators, and we've seen this already. The equals to sign is an assignment operator which basically gives a value to a variable. Okay, what we've used is the first one. We haven't seen like the second and the third one, which is kind of like a combination of operators. We would use that later on, but it's not much different. It still does assignment. Okay, so an assignment operator just takes a value and puts it into a variable, just like we've seen in previous videos. We have arithmetic operators, and we haven't really used this yet, but you should have seen this already, even if you haven't written any program before. Arithmetic operators simply just do mathematical operations. For instance, addition, subtraction. The star there is for multiplication, the slash is for division, and then we have the modulus operator, which is this percentage sign. And yeah, as you might guess, addition just adds two numbers together. Subtraction subtracts two numbers together, and the same thing for others. But the percentage sign, which is modulus, doesn't find the percentage. Actually, it just looks for the remainder from a division. We have logical operators, which just basically just checks two values to ascertain the truthiness of those values. Now, this is where it's a bit more programming or computer science oriented, but really logical operators are quite easy to use, as we'll see when we start writing programs using them. So we have the AND operator, which is that and. Okay, we have the OR operator, which is the double slash, and we have the NOT operator, which is the exclamation mark, which just negates any logical expression. We have relational operators, and really they are very similar to logical operators. Just they're more of comparison. For instance, we have the equal to operator. Now notice it's different from the assignment operator. The assignment operator is just one equals to sign, but the relational equal to operator, it's two equals to sign together, which basically compares is one value equal to the other value and returns yes or no, or as we know it in programming, true or false, which is a boolean. The next is the not equals to sign. We're using the not and the equal to's together to check that, hey, this value should not be equal to the next value. We have the greater than sign, which you should know from mathematics, and we have the less than sign, and we have a group of others under the relational operators. Now, I'm doing a lot of talking, and it's a lot of information, but when we start writing the program using this, you would see that it's actually quite easy to use this, at least for basic programs. And why don't we just do that? Okay, so I'm back in our editor, and of course with my browser by the left, just as we've always had. First things first, I'm going to clean up what we've written before. You can back up this code, especially if you want to remember. You can save a copy somewhere else so you can make reference to it or write it down somewhere. Or if you have a digital note or you are taking this course, you can just save this there. But for me, I'm going to clear this up so that we can write new code. Okay, so that's cleared. Now let's do some basic operations, right? So I'm going to be starting from the arithmetic operations, and an arithmetic operation simply involves numbers, and we can do something like adding two numbers together using the additional operator. And how do you add two numbers together? Well, you just write those two numbers and you add them. So for instance, 4 plus 6, that's it. The computer understands you're trying to add 4 to 6 since the operator for that is there. But just like every other thing, you need a way to either store it in a variable or display it to the browser screen. And to display to the browser screen, we'll do the same thing we've always been doing. Document dot write, and in here we want to write out the result of 4 plus 6. All right, I'll save that and refresh, and we have what? 10 right there. That easy. If you add 4 and 6 together, you get 10. You can do the same thing for subtraction. Okay, and let's have document dot write. Let us have 20 minus 12, for instance. And of course, you've done this math in your head. 20 minus 12 is 8. But if I save and refresh, our computer can do that for us, and we also have 20 minus 12 is 8. But something is happening here. Note that 4 plus 6 give us 10, then 20 minus 12 give us 8. But we're seeing everything together, so it's looking like 108. So I just want to make a small change here that will let us see each different result on its own line. So rather than use document.write, I would use documents.write line. So it's a different method, but it will do the same thing, but then move the other outputs to the next line. So document.write line, you can just make that one change. Rather than document.write, use documents.write line. Save this and refresh. Alright, so we are able to see the results separately now. So 10 for 4 plus 6, and we have 8 for 20 minus 12. So you can assume that with this, every other operation will work. Even complex computations, for instance, document.write line. Let's do something like 10 times 4 minus 9. Okay, what's 10 times 4? That's 40. 40 minus 9 should give us 31, and yeah, we get that result. So any valid mathematical operation can be done using your code, and the computer will do that calculation for you and just gives you the results. Now this is for arithmetic operations. Remember our comments, can just put that there. Okay, I want to just show some logical operations. Now let's say this. Most logical operators will give us an answer of either true or false. So unlike the arithmetic operation where it depends on the number you put, you get various answers. For your logical operators, you most likely end up with either a true or a false. So let's see a very simple example, which is document.write line. Okay, let's just check if 3 is greater than 5. So the computer reads it like this: is 3 greater than 5? Now, what is your answer to that question? If I should ask you, hey, is 3 greater than 5? You would say what? No, 3 is not greater than 5. So if your answer to that question is no, your computer's answer to that will be false as well. But if your answer is yes, it is greater than, your computer would actually resolve to true. So this logical operation gives us a false, and sure enough we see false because 3 is not greater than 5. I can have another here, and let's compare. Is 14 equal to 14? Now, is 14 and 14 the same? Well, yes, because they are obviously the same number, and we should get true because they are the same. Okay, so please note our answers just keep adding because we keep printing each one of them out. So 4 plus 6, 20 minus 12, so 5, and this is the 5th line, so this is the result for that. So I hope you've seen how this works. Now we can actually combine both arithmetic and logical. How? I can do this. Let's just give one more example. Documents. Right line is 20 greater than 4 times 3. Okay, so this is another that you would have to resolve. Is 20 greater than 4 times 3? So what happens here? We first of all compute for 4 times 3. What is 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12. So is 20 greater than 12? Well, yes. And so we should have, save that, refresh. We should have another true because we first of all complete this arithmetic operation, giving us 12 here, and we check if 20 is greater than 12, and sure enough it is greater than 12, and we get a true. So we see that we can actually write a lot of computations, check a lot of things using these operators. Now I'm just using a few here because going through each and every one of them would just be more theory and making this longer, but this just gives you an idea of what you can do. I would love you to play around with this. Try to write some mathematical operations. Just try to do something. Okay, find the multiply two numbers together and print it out and see what you get. Try and add a number to another, or subtract another number, and do some of the logical checks and see the output that you get. Now, once you're familiar with that, in the next video we'll try to just write a simple program using some of these operators we know, so it's not just all theories without any actual practical knowledge that you can use. So see you in the next video.